Alright, so Pokemon has blessed us with a new trailer for the expansion packs, and so we're going to go through all of the new Pokemon that were revealed during this expansion pack, as well as all of the returning Pokemon that were not in the original game. So we're going to first go down the list of what Pokemon has here. So we already know about Kabufu, we know about Urshifu, and we know about their Gigantamax forms in Calyrex. Well, we just learned about the new Reggies, Regieleki and Regidrago. So, Regieleki. We know it has the ability to transistor, and due to the description that I'm giving, it sounds like it boosts electric type moves by Regieleki. I like the design of this. I think it's a good addition to the Reggie family. I'm surprised it doesn't have pressure, but we might be able to see this thing be a good lower tier threat depending on its base stats. Because electric is only weak to ground, it might end up being a really good defensive mon in the OU tier. Next we have Regidrago. Now Regidrago has Dragon's Maw, which is worded the same way as Regieleki, which leads me to believe that it's going to boost dragon type moves. Now, if this thing is bulky, it could be a more offensive Goodra. But based on its design, I think it's going to be very bulky. I think it's going to be a high attack mon, but it's going to be super slow. Now, being a super slow dragon isn't too bad, but with the amount of ice type Pokemon we're going to be getting in the next expansions, as well as the dragons that are already going to be outspeeding it, I think that this mon's going to be more of a lower tier threat. Similar to, it's probably going to be a much better version of Drampa. Okay, next going down the line, we were given Gigantamax forms for Rillaboom, Cinderace, and Inteleon. We knew that these were coming, but it's good to see them in action. I like Rillaboom having all these different drums. It's probably going to be a really nice animation because Pokemon usually does sound-based moves really well. Cinderace, this is one of the better animated moves in the base game in its Pyro Ball. So we're going to see how that Gigantamax looks, and Inteleon just has a sniper. That mon is just going to be sniping. Then we also got Gigantamax Venusaur and Gigantamax Blastoise. Now Gigantamax Venusaur. Venusaur in general has always been a bulky Pokemon. So given that this design is going to be really, I think, fitting. And its G-Move's move, G-Max Vine Slash. Grass type attacks used by Gigantamax Venusaur will change to G-Max Vine Slash. Doesn't just deal damage when it hits, but it continues to deal damage. Okay, so it's going to be similar to Charizard's G-Max Wildfire, except grass type. Makes sense. I'm anticipating the same for Blastoise. Let's see. Good design. Good by making the shell on its back the focal point of the design, as that's always been the most lethal part of Blastoise, is that shell. And G-Max Cannonade. G-Max doesn't just damage when it hits, it continues to deal damage. Okay, similar to G-Max Wildfire. This one might be really good because of water typing in general, but because of all the water absorb mons that are relevant in the meta, this one might not be too good. Next we have the new forms of the original legendary birds. Now we have Galarian Articuno. This thing is Psychic Flying, which is amazing from a special attacking aspect, as Psychic and Flying is some of the stronger special attacking types. They're given a Freezing Glare, its own special Psychic type special move, attacks by fire and Psychic power from both eyes, and it might leave the target frozen. That's a nice callback to its original typing of ice. And then they're also telling us that it's competitive. So the wording for competitive: this Pokemon's special attack is raised by 2 stages for each of its stat saves that is lowered by an opposing Pokemon. Because of Galarian Articuno's typing being a flying type, and most rapid spinners are fighting type, this is going to be a really good mon that punishes hazard removal. You can easily switch this in on a rapid spin. You can easily switch this in on defog. If you switch it on rapid spin, you have most likely type advantage. If you switch this in on defog, you get a boost. So this mon is going to be an instant threat. I'm anticipating this thing staying in an OU. I think people are really liking the design. They're going to be using this for sure. Next, we have Galarian Zapdos. Galarian Zapdos has Defiant. It is a fighting and flying type. Defiant is good for this because it's resistant to dark type moves. As Defiant, this Pokemon is attacked by Reggies by 2 for each of its stat changes that's lowered by an opposing Pokemon. Oh, I was confusing with a different thing. So, this one's just going to be the same thing as the Articuno. But, again, you can switch this in on Defog. You can switch this in on Intimidate Mons. Have an Intimidate Pokemon come in on this. Now, the issue with Fighting Flying is that fighting types only really have one good special move. Unless... Nice, they gave Zapdos their own signature one. In this fighting type physical move, the Pokemon overwhelms the target with lightning-like movement before delivering a kick, and also lowers the target's defense stat. That's going to be really good for this. I'm guessing they're going to make this thing more offensive. It's looking like it has a Dodo or Dodrio design, so it might not have the same defensive prowess as it's had in previous gens, but having a fighting flying with its own signature fighting move, flying type stab is already super strong with Brave Bird. This is going to be a threat. Next, we have Galarian Moltres. Now, Moltres got the short end of the stick in terms of designs in the previous gens, but I really like the design of Galarian Moltres in this. I think the black and red is a good touch, and it has the ability Berserk. Now, Berserk is something unique to Drampa, but when this Pokemon has more than half its maximum HP and takes damage from an attack, bringing it to half it or less of its max HP, the special attack is raised by 1 stage. Now, that means that you can switch in this dark flying type on something it resists and let it take the damage and it'll boost up. You could even agility, let this thing take a hit. Maybe you have a weakness policy on this and you just boost all the way up. You'll get to +3, you'll get to +2 speed, and with fire and flying, dark and flying stab, you're going to be doing good damage. And its special move is going to be Fiery Wrath. Dark type special move, the Pokemon transforms its wrath into a fire-like aura, and it might make the opposing Pokemon flinch. Nice. So it's basically a powered up Dark Pulse, which is really good. Next, we have regional forms. Galarian Slowpoke is a Pokemon that I think is, even though it doesn't have the Regenerator here, I have a feeling it's going to have Regenerator. And based on its typing, it's a huge improvement. Now, Slowbro has commonly been used as a defensive pivot, and its previous weaknesses were Grass, Dark, Electric, Bug, and Poison. And Ghost. And given it this Poison typing, makes it now only weak to Ground, Ghost, and Dark. So it traded off its weaknesses for Grass, Electric, and Bug for Ground typing. Now, although Ground typing is very prevalent in the meta, and it always will be, as a trade-off for 3 different typings, I think this is a very good improvement on Galarian Slowbro. We know the Galarian Slowking still exists as well, and we're going to be getting information on that later on. So this thing can still run the Eviolite. And we don't know what Quick Draw does exactly, but based on the description here, as well as the animation in the trailer, I'm guessing it gives a speed boost or maybe even a priority boost to Slowbro. As it says, although this Pokemon is normally zoned out, facing off against strong opponents activates the stimulants in its body, sending them coursing through its nervous system, delivering a jolt. When this happens, Slowbro's expression sharpens with a speed that puts even the quickest reflexes to shame. Slowbro readies its shelter and makes poisoned liquid shoot from the shelter's tip. Now, based on the trailer, having Slowbro moving at really fast speeds, I think that this is going to boost its speed or its priority move. We know it has a signature move, Shell Sidearm. It's a poison type special move, fires poisonous liquid, may poison target, moreover it inflicts either physical or special damage depending on which will damage the target more. So it's similar to Photon Geyser from Necrozma. Again, they've introduced 4 Galarian forms that can easily be used in the meta, based on either their typings with their bulk or their offensive capabilities. Now, we know for sure we're getting in the Isle of Armor, Kingdra, we're getting Volcarona, Magnezone, Chansey, the Azumarill line, the Dedede, Zoroark line, and Lycanroc line. But all of the Pokemon that were spotted in the trailer are as follow. You had Absol, Luxray, Giratina, Tauros, Scyther, which hints at possible Scizor. Scizor in this meta would be super good, with no hidden power fire to threaten it. We get Druddigon, Exploud, Braviary, Crocodile, Tangrowth, Oranguru, Exeggutor, possible Alolan Exeggutor, Poliwrath, Politoed, Kangaskhan, Bouffalant, Lycanroc, as stated over here, Emolga, Mienfoo, Talonflame, Magmar, Kingdra, Magnezone, Aggron, Dragalge, Cryogonal, Altaria, Starmie, the Reggies, and then we're also getting a lot of the legendaries. As stated earlier, we are getting Giratina. It was a very quick shot, but Giratina is going to be in the game. We're also getting Mewtwo, Ho-Oh, Lugia, Groudon, Kyogre, Dialga, Palkia, Zekrom, Reshiram, Yveltal, Xerneas, Solego, Lunala. So we're getting a lot of Pokemon. Now, for the people that were very, very annoyed at the Dexit thing where they weren't including all the Pokemon and said they wouldn't, I think that this was obvious. They're going to include Pokemon later on, and I think that they picked good Pokemon to include. One of my favorite Pokemon, Absol, is getting included, as well as Exploud, Druddigon, and I think that we're gonna get a lot of good content out of these new expansion packs. But let me know your thoughts below. Put down what your favorite Pokemon that you're getting in the new game, and hope you guys enjoy. Again, this is coming, the DLC is coming out on June 17th. It's June 17th, and I think we're in for a treat. Hope you have a nice day.